Sana, sana, colita de rana, ¿cuáles son las divinas cartas para esta mañana? Buenos dias, mi gente. Today is September 13th, the day that I am releasing this awesome banger newsletter with, of course, this beautiful offering of the Abundance Oracle reading for the month. And so, first, I would like to start off with a little breathing exercise to help us ground our energy and help us connect with the cards and what the message is for us from our divine ancestors and angels and spirit guides and any other spiritual forces that are with us today that are here in alignment with us. So I want you to just take a moment to take a deep breath in through your nose and release through your mouth. Take another deep breath in through your nose and release through your mouth. Take another deep breath in, and this time you're going to hold it for 2 more seconds and then release. I find these breathing exercises to be very helpful, especially when I'm reading, doing a reading either for myself or for someone else. And now that I'm like gonna be a mom, it's like, oh, you better breathe, right? Start breathing now. Okay, so I'm excited to do this month's oracle reading, specifically as we focus on abundance, because I feel like there's been a lot of conversation and changes around that theme. And I probably said something similar to that effect in the last newsletter release, but I'm going to say it again, and I'm going to say that I feel like it's a lot more amplified. For me personally, I do feel this sense of abundance on a personal level, in my career, and just in my creativity in general. So hence why this newsletter is being released now. So I hope you have enjoyed the newsletter content for this month, and I hope the same for this reading. Okay. So before I begin shuffling the cards, I really want you to start thinking about your intentions. What do you need to know? What do you feel like you need to know at this time regarding your abundance, regarding your relationship up to abundance, right? Regarding, perhaps maybe a project that you're thinking about working on or cultivating or creating to bring in more abundance, right? So I want you to start thinking about those ideas, those concepts, those questions, so that you can receive more clarity as I start to do the reading. Okay. So I'm going to shuffle these really well because I just finished doing a reading myself. So I want to make sure that these cards are very well shuffled. The card decks that I will be using is the Modern Witch Tarot deck by Steele. And forgive me if I am not saying or pronouncing the names correctly. This is me going off by memory. But I believe my memory is still good. We're still intact right now. And that's a good thing, because pregnancy memory is real. I'd be forgetting my own name sometimes. Okay. What is the message that we need to know right now regarding abundance? We have one card. I'm going to ask for one more card to pair with this. I ask that you help us reveal the abundance message that we need to know regarding our careers, regarding our creative projects, our future for this upcoming month. Okay, so I first saw the Two of Wands in the upright position, so that is how I'm going to, the Two of Cups in the upright position, so that is how I'm going to read it. And then we also have the Six of Swords. So this was the first card that came out of the deck. I don't know, it's really hard to see it, but this is a Six of Swords that came out. And it's interesting because this card also came out for me, not particularly for an abundance reading, but certainly for a for my own personal reading. And then we have the Two of Cups, which again you can't probably see because of the lighting, but you get a good picture of it overall. So give me a minute to read through this. So immediately when I saw the Six of Swords, I thought about somebody moving on from something. Somebody moving on either from, it could be a job, it could be moving on from, and I see 1, 2, 3 on the clock. It could be moving on from a job, moving on from particularly an old project that is no longer serving them, old work that is no longer serving them, that maybe it served them for a good specific amount of time, and now it's like you're getting these changes, you're feeling these changes, you're getting this inspiration either from your peers or from the people around you, and just other like kind of like synchronistic messages, that kind of come out of nowhere and just like, whoa, I was like, it kind of ignites this inspiration within you. And I feel like that's what's causing the Six of Swords energy, right? The Six of Swords meaning this desire of wanting to move on, to leave what's no longer serving you behind. But it almost feels like it's a very emotional transition, um but by the way that these two people have their heads down, it's like kind of like dragging it, like, yo, I know I gotta move on, but damn, it hurts so much. And I think that one of the things that I'm sure can all to relate to is that when you're moving on from something, especially when it plays such a significant role in your life for such a long time, it's going to be an emotional transition. It's going to be hard to want to leave behind the old, right? But it's necessary, right? It kind of feels like what's really getting in your way right now are your thoughts, right? Because the swords represents like the mental aspect, right? The mental element, air element. And so I feel like these swords, the fact that they're standing right in front of her, or in front of them, I should say, it indicates that there is some mental anguish, some mental anxiety about this transition. If you may be like trying to overthink whether or not, should you move on, if this is something that you can move on from, is this something that I should move on from now? Like all these like questions coming up for you in regards to this transition that can really probably even put you in this place of paralysis analysis. So the Six of Swords is really indicating like, listen, this transition was a long time coming. It was kind of peak and, it started to build over time. And I feel like now it's coming to the point where it is time for you to move on. And it is going to be a drag. And it is going to be difficult. And it is going to be an emotional one. But trust that this is where you're supposed to be going. Sometimes we don't know what the other side is going to look like, right? We don't know. And that's the scary part, right? It's like it's a risk that you're taking. But the Six of Swords is confirming that it is time for you to go, and trust that whatever is on the other side is going to be in alignment for you. It's going to serve a purpose in your life, and a significant one. And it's time for you to start, coming out of your comfort zone and reaching those unknown spaces and territories, and trusting your intuition, trusting your gut, because this didn't just come out of nowhere, right? This is coming from a place of love, from a place of awakening, renewal, in a sense, right? And then now that it's, the fact that it was paired with the Two of Cups, I feel like this is also a journey that you don't have to go through alone, which is like dope, right? Because I see two people here and I see two people here. And I feel like this is a personal transition that you are probably taking with someone that you truly, truly love. And someone that reflects that reciprocal energy, right? That reciprocal love, that is like, yo, I'm pouring into your cup and you're pouring into mine, and like we're exchanging cups, right? We're fulfilling each other. And I feel like this transition speaks to that, right? It could be either moving on with this person to to new territory, to a new adventure, to a new beginning, right? You could be a couple, particularly moving, going through a transition together. It could also indicate a friendship that could be moving to the next stage together, right? It could be also particularly a working relationship, right? Two people moving into new territory, a new creative project, partnering on this creative project, right? Or partnering in a sense where it brings this abundance, this new abundance. It almost seems like, right? Um, it almost seems like this other person is playing a significant role in terms of this transition that you're going through. So I feel like the Two of Cups is also affirming to trust, right? Trust this person that is in your life. They are here to offer you just as much as you are here to offer them love and awareness and attention and like um, just presence too. It almost feels like so. This could also be like a water sign and an earth sign coming together because there's one person standing on the on the shore, right, on the sand, which represents the earth, and then the other person standing in the water. I love to kind of see. Anytime I pull this card, it feels like that's what that's what the vibe is. Like there's an earth sign and a water sign coming together, but it can also be two Leos coming together or two fire signs coming together because of the line on the top. I feel like these two people have a lot of like fire energy. That's what's bringing them together. A lot of passion, a lot of creativity surrounding this particular new form of abundance, and I feel that that's what's going to keep them together. So yeah, so just be open to that, right? Be open to that new beginning, that new transition. And I love this because when you talk about abundance, and I said this in the last video, was that abundance doesn't necessarily only speak to money, right? It doesn't only speak to financial stability. It speaks to emotional stability, right? It speaks to health. It speaks to community. It speaks to creative projects that don't necessarily produce income, but they produce another form of happiness, another form of income that brings in this level of purpose, right? This level of this higher connecting you to your higher purpose. And that is like, intangible. That's not, you can't put a price on it. You can't, it's just this beautiful energy that fulfills you in all these ways that when you show up into the world, it's like, yo, what she got going on? It's like, bitch, I'm full of creative shit right now. And that's honestly, that's how I be feeling all the time when I'm working on like something super creative, and I see where it's going. It's like, yo, I just got a real creative eye right now, so people be asking all the time why I look like that. So this is why I look like that. Okay. And okay, so refocusing. So those are the two cards that I pulled from the Modern Witch tarot deck. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull an oracle card from the Angel and Ancestors Oracle deck by Kyle, que sé yo, last name. I'm sorry, I forgot the last name, but I think I've used this deck quite a couple times, actually more than quite a couple of times. So if you have been following me for a bit, you know which deck this is, or if you do tarot and oracle, pulls, you know what deck this is. And I will probably put it in the notes anyways, so just don't worry about that. Okay. All right, so same thing. I want you guys to focus on the question, your intentions. More specifically, I want you to focus on the message that you just received from the Modern Witch Tarot deck. And I want you to think about the things that did resonate with you and hold on to that, because this is what's going to clarify this message further. Rather, it's going to bring it home, right? It's going to reaffirm the message that specifically resonated with you. Okay, so I am going to pull two cards again. Sometimes more can come out, but I am calling for two cards. So Spirit, loved ones, guides, divine guides, I ask you to help us please reaffirm this message that we are bringing out today into the world and offering to our fellow followers, our fellow community. Help us confirm the message. What do you have for us. Okay, we have one. Bring us one more. We have two. Wow. We got the snake, y'all. We got the snake, and it's so funny because the snake, I'm not gonna flip this yet, but it's so crazy because I was actually watching one of my favorite tarot readers, and she was definitely mentioning the snake in her week reading, her week ahead reading. So that was like super dope. And I see 1, 2, 3 again. And the snake is definitely referring to shedding old skin, right? Snakes typically shed skin. They represent renewal. They represent transformation. It's a very like mysterious, I want to say, spirit guide, animal figure. And the medicine that the snake generally brings is transformation. It generally brings this need to have to shed old skin so that we can reach our highest potential, right? This is about whatever that potential may be, whether that may be on a spiritual level, right? Perhaps maybe sharing your gifts, your intuitive gifts, right? And now that I'm thinking about it, this could also be, you having a transition into going into a new transition on a spiritual level. And it could be that you are actually doing this with someone who brings out that spiritual um that spiritual gift within you, right? And so the snake is also a very spiritual like figure, in the sense where not only is it talking about, shedding old skin and shedding old habits and beliefs about yourself so that you're able to reach this new form, this new identity that you have created for yourself, but it also speaks on a spiritual level, in the sense where you're shedding old beliefs about what you believe your spirituality or your spiritual identity should be. And now you're coming to this new space of like, yo, this is what I believe in. This is what I feel like aligns best with me. This is what actually uplifts my spirits, so definitely that's what I feel like this card is referring to. And then we have the stargazer, which is so interesting because, I feel like stars are also like cosmic guidance, right? They represent astrology. I feel like it's this could be somebody maybe going into more astrology and wanting to learn more about the stars and whatnot. But the overall message from the stargazer is about setting your sights higher, meaning that whatever goals that you have set for yourself, think bigger than that. Think the impossible, right? This is about trusting that your guides and your ancestors and your divine spirit team is with you as you're going through this transition. They are putting the breadcrumbs in front of you, like, mija, cómete eso, pero no se te olvide dónde tú vas. Like, this is a road that I want you to follow, right? And it's so true, because when you look up to the sky, right, you look at the stars, it's like, doesn't it feel like they're guiding you somewhere, but you don't know where is, where that somewhere is. You don't know where that is. And it gives you this, but it still feels like a sense of peace. It still feels like a sense of hope and renewal. Like, yo, like, I can dream upon this star right now and have this little like childlike curiosity that it may actually come true, right? This childlike hope that it's gonna come true. I don't know when and I don't know how, but it is. Every time I look up to the sky and I look up to the stars, and I'm just like, I'm gonna pick that star right there, and I'm gonna wish on the craziest dream ever, right? But I don't feel like it's out of reach. Rather, I feel like it's so unknown and unfamiliar to me, of the fact that I have so many questions about when it's going to happen or how it's going to happen. But the fact that I still have this dream within me, and every time I see a star, like, I wish upon that dream, it's like, yo, I know this dream is going to come true. I know it is, and I don't know when and I don't know how, but I know that it is. And maybe that's the child innocence, like energy within me that feels that and believes in that. And but I feel like it's what keeps us alive, right? It's what keeps us motivated to keep going. And so I share that with you so that you can understand that the stargazer is basically that energy. It's like, yo, look up to the sky, trust that whatever external force you personally believe in is here with you. You are not alone. You may be alone in the physical world, right? Where maybe you're going through this transition, a lot of people are looking at you like you crazy, because it's like, yo, like, you can't do that. That's not realistic. That's not practical. Oh, how you gonna do this? Or maybe inserting their own doubts and fears. And and their own unresolved trauma. But this is about staying hopeful. This is about staying focused on your vision, focused on your unique path, knowing that your path is going to be totally different from your neighbor, from your siblings, from your cousins, from your aunts, uncles, your parents. It's going to be different. It's supposed to be different because you were born here with a unique purpose, right? Whether it's to contribute, whether it's to create something new, whether it's to improve something. It's like, yo, like you were here for a reason. You are here for a reason. It's a matter about of you believing in that, right? Reclaiming your power and believing in your journey, believing that everything that you went through in the past, including that old thing that you're moving from, served a purpose, shaped you in some shape or form, and now you're evolving. Now you're transforming. Now you're shedding this old skin and you're becoming a whole new snake, right? Maybe the same color, but definitely like internally a whole new snake, right? And so it's just interesting because the Stargazer is about, I know you, is basically saying, I know you've set goals for yourself, and maybe it feels safe to like those goals kind of feel safe, is what this is also saying. Like those goals feel safe, the ones you have set. But I want to challenge you and I want to ask you to set higher goals, to set bigger goals, right? To set bigger dreams. Believe in the impossible because your cosmic guidance is giving you this dream for a reason. It's giving you this desire to want to have that dream for a reason. It's coming from a good place. It's coming from a higher place. Trust that if you set the intentions to make that goal, that dream happen, you will have cosmic support. You will have divine support. You will have the support that you need along the way. You just have to trust. All right, y'all. I feel really good about this reading. And I hope that this resonated with you in some shape or form. Feel free to like the video, share the video with someone you feel like what the message will resonate with. But as always, stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already to our monthly newsletter, which I will be doing a lot more consistently. But for the most part, it's been a pleasure doing this reading and definitely sharing the vibes. Take care, y'all.